Hi everybody, it's Mena. Welcome back to my channel, or if this is the very first video that you're seeing of me, then welcome to my channel. Please be sure to hit the subscribe button down below if you didn't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and today in this video, I'm going to go over a redo of my tutorial on how to do a movie review. So I made this video a few years ago, but I felt like that video was horrible quality. Nobody could really see what I was talking about, and also I did not have a very good camera, and I didn't know how to angle or work the camera properly, so it was just not a very good tutorial. So I'm redoing it, and I thought this would be good, and I also got a lot of requests from my friends to redo it. And I thought this would be a good time now to redo it because I have gotten so much better at doing my movie reviews, and I've learned a lot of a lot of tips and tricks along the way while practicing and learning how to do movie reviews. So I thought it'd be great to do an updated version, and I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys like the way I edited this video, and I am really excited for you guys to see this updated version of my tutorial on how to do the movie review. And if you did like it, give it a thumbs up. And I'm going to get started before this intro gets too long.
Step 1, pick a movie.
So the first thing you want to do for a movie review is pick a movie. You can pick any movie you want. You can pick a movie you've watched 100 times from your childhood. You can pick a movie you've watched so many times. I wouldn't really recommend picking movies you just recently saw, because if you don't have a good memory like I do, you're not going to have enough clues, you're not going to have enough information. So I would just pick a movie you may have seen like 100 times. For me, like one film I've seen maybe 100 times is Dumbo, and I know that movie by heart because I've been watching it since I was a kid, and I know like the plot, I know everything about it from seeing it so many times. So just pick any movie you want. Like you could pick, like, let's say a comedy, you could pick a romantic movie, you could pick a scary movie, you can pick a kids movie. I usually just do kids movies because I think they're so much fun. Like you can pick any movie you want to do for your review. Just pick one you may have seen more than once. Don't pick something you've seen once, because like I said, if you don't have a good memory like I do, you won't have enough information.
Step 2, talk about the plot.
So next thing you want to do is when you do a movie review is talk about the plot of the movie. This is a good idea because it kind of gets your viewers engaged of what kind of movie they're expecting and what kind of movie they're going to see. My biggest tip is don't give out any scenes from the plot, because you're going to spoil it for maybe those who haven't seen it, and not a lot of people or people who watch movie reviews like when people give out certain scenes in the movie. So don't give out the entire movie either, because that will take up so much time of the video. I would just give clues about what the plot is actually about in the movie, so the viewers can get an idea of what they're looking for when they're going to see the movie, and also add like who is acting in the film, or if they're doing voice acting, the voice actors of the movie, because giving out the voice actors will also help get your viewers engaged, because they may like some of the actors in the movie. Sorry if you can see the reflection of my tripod and my camera.
Step 3, give your opinion.
So giving your opinion on the movie is super important, because it also helps your viewers know if you like the movie or not. Like give like also clues of why you liked the movie or why you didn't like the movie. because then it'll give your viewers ideas and if they want to see it and stuff. Don't just say you didn't like the movie just because for no reason. That will not attract viewers, and also your viewers will probably not have enough ideas of why you don't like the movie. So I'm going to give an example. So let's say I saw a horror movie and I said I didn't like the horror movie because it was really scary for me because of all the aliens or yada yada yada, this, that, or the zombies or whatever. So basically you just talk about like why you don't like the movie. Or if you really like the film, let's say example, I like the movie Cats Don't Dance because I thought it had a great storyline, it had wonderful music, and also it's just really cute because it has animals in it. So those are like great opinions you want to give for when you're doing a movie review, because it'll get your viewers to know why you like the film. It'll give them an idea if they'll like the movie or not, which is a good thing, because you just don't want to say you liked a movie or didn't like a movie. You have to give reasons why you liked the movie or didn't like the movie.
Step 4, talk about the director.
Another important tip to do is, excuse me. I'm so sorry, I just had a tickle in my throat. But anyway, another important tip you can do is talk about the director of the film, which is pretty cool, which is a pretty good thing, because then you can explain to your viewers that if you're familiar with the director's work, or if you like any other movies that the director has directed, which is a good thing, because that also gets your viewers more engaged, because a lot of people will maybe know that director, or they're maybe not familiar with the director, and you can like also give examples of movies you've seen that he or she has directed. Like for example, Robert Zemeckis has directed Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which is one of my all-time favorite films, yada yada yada. And that's true, that actually is one of my all-time favorite movies, is Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And funny story, I think that's the only movie I'm familiar with that is directed by Robert Zemeckis. So basically, when you're talking about the director, just talk about some of his work. And if you don't recognize any other work besides the movie you've seen, it's totally okay to say, I only recognize this film, yada 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 yada. Or if there are other movies, but if there's way too many, don't add every single film, because that'll take up way too much time, especially if you're on a time limit for YouTube. So that is another way to keep your viewers engaged in your movie reviews.
Step 5, talk about the characters and their actors or their voice actors if it's an animated film.
Another step to do in your movie review is to talk about the characters of the film. Like, don't go through each and every single character you see in the movie, because that's way too time consuming, especially if you only have 15 minutes to film. I would just only go through just the main characters of the movie, just because they're characters you see throughout the film and then you know about more. So just go on with those characters, and then as you're talking about them, talk about their personalities, why you like the characters or why you didn't like the characters. Like for example, I'm going to give an example that I didn't like Jafar because he scared me with his villainous attitude, like that. And you should go through only like the main characters. Don't go through every single character that appears in the film, especially if they only appear, but only if they appear for like 10 seconds or so, because you don't want to talk about every single character, because that's going to take up way too much time, especially if you only have 15 minutes to film a YouTube video. So just go through like the main characters, talk about their voice actors, especially what movies you've seen their voice actors in, or let's just say actors if it's live action, because then that also gets your viewers more engaged as well.
Step 6, talk about the setting of the movie and where it takes place, and as well as when it takes place.
So talking about the setting of the film is a great way for movie reviews. I'm sorry, you can constantly see the reflection of my my tripod, but I'm trying to get it to you so you guys can't see the reflection of my tripod. But anyway, so when you talk about the plot of the film, I mean not the plot, excuse me, I mean the setting. When you talk about the setting of the film, like it also gets your viewers more engaged because then you're explaining like the beauty of like the state that the film takes in, or you're talking about the time period as well, because some movies will take place in certain time periods, and you talk about life and what it was like back then and why people acted that way and yada yada yada. And it's always good to talk about like certain time periods that movies take place in, because then that also gets your viewers more engaged, because some of them may not be familiar with the certain time periods, especially if you're young. If you have a very young audience who's really into history, you should always like explain the time period of the film as well, and explain why you like that certain time period, this and that. That's just a really good thing to go through. And it's also, or if a film takes place in the present and it takes place in a certain state, you should talk about why you like the setting of that certain state, which is really good thing, because like you like how beautiful it is, you like that you've been to this certain state 100 times, yada yada yada, or you've never been to that state or country, yada yada yada, or you just like the time period it took place in and the way things were back then, yada yada yada. Just go through like certain like reasons why you like it. Like it, don't just say I like the scenery, blah 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 blah, it was so pretty, blah 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 blah. Just talk about where it takes place and why you like where it takes place.
Step 7, if the film is a musical, talk about the songs in the film.
Number 7, talking about, another good tip is to talk about songs that are sang in the movie by the characters in the film, but only if the film is a musical. I think this is a really good idea because there are a lot of people who are huge musical fans, and it's good to talk about the songs and why you like them and what your favorite things about the songs were and what your most favorite song in the film was. I think that's a great idea because there are a lot of people that are musical fans, and if they like musicals, it's just a good idea to just talk about the songs and why you like them, yada yada yada. But if it has famous songs, I probably wouldn't really talk about them because that's probably going to take up way too much time, especially if you only have 15 minutes of a time limit. You can talk about also songs that you didn't like in the movie. Like for example, there are 3 songs in Cats Don't Dance that I do not like, and it's what are they called? Hold on one second. So I didn't like 3 songs in Cats Don't Dance. I'm not going to say the names just because I can't think of them off the top of my head. I just didn't like them just because I just didn't really like the person who sang them, and I just didn't like the lyrics, and some of them kind of were dark and a little bit too dark for me. So that's a good example. A good example of why I like another good example you could say, like, here is this one. I like Tale as Old as Time because it talks about the story of Beauty and the Beast, how it actually is a tale as old as time. That's why I like that song. It's one of my favorites because it just talks about the story of Beauty and the Beast and why it's a really old film. I mean, a really old story told throughout the years and yada, yada, yada. And it is really true. It is a really old story told throughout the years, but it's still a great one that a lot of people love. So like you can talk about that, like a lot of the songs in the movie. Just be careful of the time limit too if you only have 15 minutes. So you may have to go kind of quickly. I don't know, I definitely had to do that a few times whenever I was doing movie reviews when I only had the 15-minute time limit. So make sure you watch your time when you're doing those types of things, is to always make sure you have enough time to talk about the songs.
Step 8, talk about who you would recommend the movie to and why.
And the final step to do a movie review is talk about who you would recommend the movie to. Yes, I realized I did spell recommend wrong. Oops, my bad. I guess I added another C when I wasn't paying attention. So that's a good thing you would talk about when you're doing a movie review, is who you'd recommend the film to, because there are a lot of people who like certain films. Like, there's some people who like musicals, some people like adventures, some people who like certain actors. Like, here's another great example. I would recommend the movie Flubber to anybody who is a huge fan of Robin Williams, because Robin Williams is in this movie and he's a wonderful actor. And, or you can also say, I would recommend the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights. Comment down below if you guys also want to review in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Anyway, I would recommend Robin Hood Men in Tights to anybody who likes really silly comedy movies, because it is a very silly comedy movie, and it's a Mel Brooks film. If you like Mel Brooks, yada, yada, yada. You can just say those reasons why you would recommend these movies to people, because that also gives people an idea if they want to see the movie or not. So definitely talk about who you'd recommend your movie review that you're reviewing to, because then it just gets people wanting to see the movie, which I think is a really great thing.
Step 9, also talk about who you would not recommend the movie to.
Oh, another helpful tip is to also talk about who you would not recommend the movie to, because there are some people that may not like this movie or may not like certain things in movies. So just also give hints of why you would also not recommend this to certain people as well, because that also is super helpful. Like, for instance, I wouldn't recommend Pinocchio 1941 to anybody who 1940, excuse me, not 1941, sorry. Anybody who doesn't like very dark, scary moments, because this film does have quite a few dark, scary moments. So like that. Just talk about the reasons why you would or wouldn't recommend movies to certain people, but mostly talk about why you would recommend them, just because it gets the viewers to see if they want to see the movie, because there are a lot of people who like certain things in certain movies. So definitely do that. Okay, so that was my updated tutorial on how to do a movie review. I hope you guys liked the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you like this one better than the other one, because I feel like the other one, it was very difficult to actually see what I was talking about, because the camera was not very good quality. And now that I have a much better quality camera, I hope you guys were able to see what I was talking about better, and I hope you were able to see my handwriting super well. So I hope you guys really like this tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and if you want to see my really horrible quality video of my first tutorial on how to do a movie review, that'll be linked in the description box down below. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I post every day except for Tuesday and Friday afternoon sometimes, and I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!